If they're really pushing you to buy it, you have to say yes or no without doing your homework. I would maybe guide you towards saying no. There's a lot of risk on my part, but I also don't like anybody, especially my clients, being taken advantage of. It's a big reason of why we decided to make this video. Is it's a topic we're pretty passionate about. Most people in this building cringe when they hear the word aftermarket warranty, because from the auto repair shop side, they are an absolute nightmare. The bulk of these people are not great people to deal with. We've seen them really take advantage of us and take advantage of people for many years now, and it's honestly getting kind of old. So I'm going to give you about 4 main reasons from the auto repair shop side of just things you should think about when buying an aftermarket warranty. So obviously, going back to the risk of me being a shop owner telling you not to buy it, I don't feel comfortable flat out just saying, hey, never buy one, but you need to be educated, know what you're buying, and really do your homework, really weigh out that risk versus reward. So the number one thing that will be a guarantee when you buy an aftermarket warranty is your car will be in my shop longer, at least double. There's a whole process you have to follow when you have an aftermarket warranty, very similar to making an insurance claim if you've ever been in an auto accident. There's a specific process we have to follow. So we get your car into the shop, we listen to whatever your concerns are, we go test drive it, bring it in the shop, kind of start looking into those concerns. The very first step we have to do as the auto repair shop is we have to call your warranty company and initiate a claim. Here's the customer's name, here's the car's info, this is what it's doing, this is what the concerns are. And then they kind of give us their punch list of what they need from us to either approve or deny the claim. The very first thing they're going to want is a final diagnosis. So we can't just call them and say, okay, this car's doing this, and it's very common for it to need this part replaced, so can we approve that part? That's not a full diagnosis. They want 100% clear diagnosis of these are the tests we did, this is what the results were, therefore we know for sure it needs this part. Average takes a couple of hours, about $300 worth of diagnostic time. 98% of the warranty companies I've dealt with out there do not cover that initial diagnosis. And the ones that do, they typically don't approve it up front. They want to know what the diagnosis is, make sure it's a covered system, and then they might go ahead and kick in on the diagnosis. So number one thing to be prepared of is it's going to take more time, but 2, know that just because you have a warranty doesn't mean you're going to just wander into a shop and never pay any money. You are going to be on the hook for diagnostic charges. Once we have that diagnosis approved by you, we move forward and do it, then we got to call the warranty company back. More often than not, they either don't answer or they do answer and put us on hold for a silly amount of time, or we send them an email, and then the next day we send them a reminder email, the next day we send them a reminder email. You can kind of see the direction this is going. Warranty companies are not in the business to impress us auto shop owners. As a matter of fact, it often feels like it's a one-on-one battle. It's us against them, and that's frustrating. It shouldn't be that way, but it is. So they're usually delayed answering their phone or responding back, so you usually go through a bunch of phone calls back and forth to finally get an agent on the phone. Then they have us go through our diagnosis. If it's something simple, they'll usually approve it, but if it's anything even partially complicated, then they usually request a third-party inspector to come out. So then the car has to sit longer than what we can afford to have sitting in the shop. So then we have to push your car back out, wait for that third party to show up. Then they show up typically when we're in the middle of a million other things, but it is what it is. We got to get your car back in, get the technician available, go through what we've tested, what we've found, what we want to do with the third party. They typically take a couple days to kind of put their notes together, have a communication with the warranty company, and then it's back to the email and phone calls again. That process alone, I've had a car sit here for 30 days waiting on an approval. I had one of my customers, BMWs, need an engine that sat here forever, just with us making phone calls and emails every day. So that's not every single time, but the majority of the time, it does take, I would say, an extra 5 days to get your car through the process that we usually have done in 1 to 2 days. The number two thing I want you to keep in mind when you buy a warranty is, you know, the commercials we're seeing nonstop make it to where, okay, you can just pay this money up front and then you never have a surprise amount of money out of pocket or a large amount of money out of pocket on your car again. That is very far from the truth. I would say, even to be fair, I would say 50% or less of the claims we make on our customers' behalf are denied. So just because you have an aftermarket warranty doesn't mean you're not going to be spending money on your car. I can almost guarantee you're still going to be paying a good amount of money out of pocket on maintenance and repairs on your vehicle. The warranty is not a end-all be-all for your vehicle expenses, unfortunately. I would say at least once a week around here, we're calling our clients to let them know that their warranty company has declined their repair. Keep in mind, not only have I been doing this a long time, but my service advisors here know this process better than anybody, have way more patience than I've ever had. They're very good at getting these things approved. So if we're still consistently calling people and letting them know the warranty company denied it, know that we've got years and years of practice and know how to get things approved, how to word things, how to estimate things, just the whole thing. And we're still getting no's a lot, so keep that in mind. So I've recently had another car that was denied on the claim because there was a non-covered part that failed that led to the failure of a covered part. So it was a BMW, needed an engine that was just a nasty priced engine. My aftermarket builders don't make it. I got to buy it right from the dealer. I want to say this was over a $20,000 repair. It was just gross. It wasn't even my car. It made me cringe. What had happened on it is a customer driving down the road, everything was going fine, started to get some warning lights. Did exactly what he was supposed to do, pulled over as soon as it was safe as possible, called us, we had it toted in, we checked it. What we found is it had several codes, but we also noticed it kind of had a weird, kind of like burning smell. Looking into it further, engine was burning oil at excessive rate. What we had found is the engine was actually having some internal failure problems. And this was a warranty that the customer spent a lot of money on. It actually covered most things engine related. So if it did indeed need an engine, this would have been an engine that would have likely been covered. We had to approve that big of a repair. Obviously, we got it. They want us to tear it down and really get to the bottom of it. So as we were removing this engine, tearing it down, we found that what happened is the turbo itself had failed, and it obviously sent some metal fragments through the intake and mixed in with the oil of the car, and that turbo failing and causing some like metal shrapnel basically to enter the engine is what caused the engine to fail. This warranty had an exemption on the turbo. So turbos are not covered, engine is. So one might think, well, okay, customer has to pay for the turbo. Thankfully, the warranty company will cover the engine, right? That's not the case. The fact that the turbo was a non-covered part caused the engine to fail, made the whole claim be denied. So now this customer is out. I think this customer spent over $4,000 on this warranty, and it is covering absolutely $0 towards this claim. Customer is going to be completely out of pocket, and not only that, on top of that, the amount of hoops that we had to jump through to get the claim approved, the amount of teardown we had to do, we did more teardown than what we would have normally done. We already knew it needed an engine and a turbo as we were starting to tear it down. The warranty company wanted us to do several more hours of teardown before denying the claim. So now the customer not only is out for the repairs, but then somebody's got to spend the 4 or 5 extra hours my technician spent on this vehicle to tear it down to please the warranty company. So that puts me in a weird spot where I got to ask my customer to pay that. Very uncomfortable, or I pay my tech, because I'm definitely not going to ask my technician to not get paid. So it's it's consistently putting the auto repair shop in kind of a weird spot, because we feel like we're the ones responsible for getting these things approved. So it kind of makes it a little bit personal for us, and we hate to. I absolutely hate having to call one of my clients back and say, "Gosh, I'm sorry. I just spent the last 2 weeks battling and I lost." You know. The third thing that I want you to keep in mind if you decide to buy an aftermarket warranty, if you're on the fence, is price. Every shop across the U.S., our pricing is similar on some things and slightly different on other things. Our average labor rate here in Layton, Utah, I would say the average job we do is $130. When I'm changing your oil, I'm working for $12 an hour, to be honest. When I'm diagnosing a rodent got under your hood and chewed up your wiring harness, and now I've got to go and open up harnesses and stuff, I'm charging about $150 an hour to do stuff like that. So if you average out the easy like fluid exchanges and the crazy diagnostics we do, we land around an average of $130. Some warranty companies will call up and they'll approve $130. Some companies will call up and they'll approve $90. That's just on the labor. Now, on parts, I have to make about 50% profits on parts in order to stay alive, to be honest. Running an auto repair shop, expenses are high. So if I do a repair for you, and let's say it's a $1,000 repair, a profitable shop strives to make 15 to 20% at the end of the year. So if I do a $1,000 job for you, I am happy if I make $150 after all my expenses are paid. In order to do that, I've got to hold about 50 to 60% margins on the gross side. So what that means is, out of the $1,000 you pay me to fix your car, I need to have $500 to $600 left after paying for the part and paying for the technician, and then that leftover $500 to $600, I pay marketing costs, I pay my service advisors, I pay rent, utilities, pay for all the tools running around. If everything goes perfect, I can keep about 15% at the end of the month or end of the year. That's before I reinvest in equipment, pay my taxes and stuff. So hopefully everybody agrees that that's fair profits. So now when I call these warranty companies, I give them our price. Here's the labor hours, here's our labor rate, here's the parts it needs, this is what it costs me, this is what I sell them for. Here comes the next battle. They battle me, almost all of them, more often than not, say, wow, I can only pay $100 an hour and you guys want $130, or gosh, I can buy that part for $80 on, say, Rock Auto. Why would I pay you $120 for it? And they know damn well why we have to charge what we have to charge. Like I don't just pick numbers out of the air and be like, oh, Mrs. Jones, I want to charge you $1,500 today. You know what I mean? That's not how that works. Very specific pricing based off of what we have to cover expenses and make a fair wage. So when we're dealing with these warranty companies, we're getting them the estimates. I would say more than 50% of the time they beat us up over the price. So let's just take the $1,000 estimate as an example. I give them the price of $1,000. They beat me up over my rate. They beat me up over my parts markup. They agree to pay, say, $700. That's a $300 loss for me, and I just told everybody that, hey, if everything goes perfectly, I make about $150 on this $1,000 repair. So why would I ever jump through all these hoops with these warranty companies and pitch in $150 towards your repair? I would love to do that. I love everybody that comes in, but unfortunately, I wouldn't be able to stay in business doing that. So then I have to call my client and say, okay, this vehicle needs this. This is what I found. I did get it approved with your warranty company, but they're only willing to pay $700, whereas the bill is $1,000. So sorry, Mr. Jones, but you've got your deductible, and then you got to pay the difference between what the warranty company pays. Once again, puts me in a bad spot, but one thing we do is when you come to my counter and you are handing over your aftermarket warranty paperwork, I explain that these things might happen so that you're at least aware. But if you just bought the car, bought the warranty, you're coming in just thinking this is going to be covered, I'm not going to pay anything. So then when I call and say, hey, I charge more than what the warranty company pays, if I don't explain it right, you're going to think that, you know, Tom at Shade Tree's a greedy guy and just trying to take you for your money. And I promise you that's not the case. These warranty companies are in business business to take in as much money as they can, pay out as little as possible, because they got expenses as well that they're trying to be profitable. So it puts us back to that battle. This is what I charge, this is what they want to pay. We end up battling back and forth. We're good at it. Sometimes we get them to come up to what is fair, sometimes we don't, but just know that when they gouge my pricing, somebody has to pay for that. I do transfer the extra costs onto the vehicle owner. So keep that in mind. Once again, just because you spend the money on this aftermarket warranty, more often than not, you're still going to be paying a decent amount of money out of pocket towards your repairs. So I'm obviously passionate about this subject. I hate seeing people be taken advantage of. As my clients bring these aftermarket warranties into our shop, we actually, every year when we're kind of planning out our next year, we actually are thinking about drawing a line in the sand and actually no longer even accepting aftermarket warranties, because they're such a nightmare from our side, and we just don't like the feeling of dealing with them. I could go on for hours probably talking about this subject. None of you are going to stay on our channel long enough to listen to me, so I'm trying to balance getting you the proper amount of information and not boring you to death. So hit us up in the comments. We monitor those quite often, so as I have time, if you got more questions on this, I would love to answer that. So hit us up in the comments. If there's a common question, we'll actually do a follow-up video. So please hit us up, let us know what you think and what other concerns you have. We'll do our best to use our years of experience to guide you through making a good decision on whether you buy one of these or not. And just to sum this video up, with my experience over the last 30 years, the things to think about when you're deciding whether to buy this aftermarket warranty or not: it will for sure take you way more time in the shop. So your car is going to be in my shop or whatever shop you go to for a considerable amount more time. Claims are denied probably more often than they're approved. If they do approve the claim, they typically pay less than what is fair for the auto shop to make. And then there's a lot of policy in there that have limits. So those are kind of the 4 key things that I want you to be thinking of. I've had a warranty company step up to the plate and help people out to where they ended up being happy. Okay, I only paid X amount of dollars for my warranty and they just covered this. That's ideal, right? That's why we buy it. If I'm going to spend $4,000 on a warranty, hopefully that saves me $4,000 or more dollars. But more often than not, I've seen people spend more money on the warranty than what it covers. So I don't want to sit here and say don't buy it, but I also want you to do lots of extra homework. If they're really pushing you to buy it, you have to say yes or no without doing your homework. I would maybe guide you towards saying no. There's a reason why they have one of their most experienced salespeople working in the finance room and pushing this warranty on you as you're getting ready to close on that car. So just think about it, do your homework before you set into it, and spend your money wisely. So if you liked our video, like and subscribe. We try to bring common things and lots of years of auto repair experience to you. So if you liked our video, hit the like button and subscribe.